Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 43 of Nuts and Bolts. I'm your host, David Rhinehart, and I'm joined here this week by Jared Brazil
How's it going?
and Kate Reilly.
Oh, hi.
Alex Alex Santamaria will be joining us later. He
Oh,
is busy with stuff.
I'm attracted.
Yeah.
I I'm so used to doing Lonely Gods with you. I was like a little bit hurt when my name wasn't first. I was like, wait a minute. Anyway,
Yes, we are here this week to count down. Well, not count down, but just go over some of the best and worst video game characters, both the shallow and the deep, because there are both in both camps, good and bad for those.
Yeah, at this point, video games have really become a voice for the generation, starting with the Nintendo and moving on. A lot of people identify with the characters they play, and, it's been a real, some characters are just fucking terrible. But there are a lot of them that, people have come to see as heroes or, not just movies and TV or, what people look up to, but they also look up to video game characters. So we're going to talk about some of the best and some of the ones that are just fucking worthless and no idea why they actually made them.
Well, especially on the point that you're raising, like just makes me think a lot about Master Chief, who is not because there is a distinct line that can be drawn, and we'll probably mention a couple times between iconic and good. Master Chief is a very iconic character. I wouldn't call him a bad character, but he is an empty suit of armor that says things every once in a while. Like, there is no character there. He is just a really cool suit of armor.
Yeah,
well, I guess not, but I think that, like in video games, having an iconic and recognizable character doesn't negate the idea that they could be good. I mean,
No, I'm just saying, for that example,
the thing about like the video game medium is that we've come a long way in storytelling, but at the same time we still have games that are just games for gameplay's sake. And so if a character's not well developed but they're memorable, it doesn't it's fine. We forgive that more than we would forgive it happening in like a movie or something. We don't like expect the same.
well, I mean, the difference also there is in a movie, if it's got bad characters, unless you're just, you turn your brain off and enjoy explosions for 2 hours, it's kind of not that great of a movie. Whereas,
Well, that's what I'm
if a video
saying.
game has shitty characters, you can still have a fuck ton of fun with it.
Exactly.
Well, we have a lot of silent protagonists that, think about Link from The Legend of Zelda. He doesn't say a lot or if anything ever, but people still love him as a character. But really, Link isn't anything. Like, Link as a character, has some basic motivations, but he isn't some grand, he doesn't talk. He doesn't really have moments where he's, doing anything besides saving a princess and killing monsters. But
I
people
don't know
still
about
love
that.
him as a character. Well, I mean, he doesn't have...
He's not a total blank slate the way like Grand Theft Auto 3 guy is. I mean, like he
Claude.
has a
His name is
yeah,
Claude, Kate.
Sorry, but like Link at least has a definite like personality, and it comes through even though he doesn't really talk. I mean, he's still like distinctively Link, I guess.
Yeah, he's certainly Link. But I mean, it's different when you talk about characters that have more of a voice. I mean, you talk about Master Chief on one hand, but you also talk about Shepard on the other hand, and how much Shepard has to say, even though that what you say is based upon somewhat about what you want as a person, what choices you make. Shepard has a very distinct voice, where Master Chief has 4 words basically that kind of make him a character. Yeah, just come get some. It's like
That's Duke Nukem, damn it.
That's what I'm saying. I was about to say
Has a lot more
that's
personality than Mr. Chief.
Duke Nukem is Ash from Evil Dead. I mean, that's what he is. He is Bruce Campbell from Evil Dead.
Except a shithead. Like,
Yeah, well, he's just an asshole. But I mean, that was the thing. Even then, that was an interesting character because he didn't have someone like that. Like, you had the Doom protagonist who was silent, and then you had
stuff like Shadow Warrior and Rise of the Triad. They gave their characters a little bit more personality, but no, it was not this. Like, Duke Nukem had a shit ton of personality, and that's why people loved him. It was just cheesy one-liner. It was an '80s action movie come to life, and that's why we love that game. And then they did not evolve the formula, which is why I like Duke Nukem. I like Duke Nukem 3D, but Duke Nukem, what was the last one called?
Forever.
Oh yeah, it was called Forever.
Duke
It was a
Nukem
piece
Forever,
of shit.
yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking terrible. I played that whole game. It wasn't funny. It was offensive. They did not bring that '80s action star with the giant head to the modern crowd. They made it in 1990 and left it there, and it sucked.
The fact they actually made that game was incredible. Like, I can't believe that game after 10 years or whatever, 15 years, actually got put out. I mean, the fact that they had the drive to actually finish that stupid game after a decade was amazing. I mean, it was impressive to see Duke Nukem actually come out after the vaporware thing forever.
It was basically done. That was the problem, is they kept like switching engines, and it was just never getting completed. They didn't update like the plot or anything. They added a couple more jokes, and it was basically the same game, just on like 4 different engines. But I mean, it was canceled, and then Gearbox just spent a year making it actually work, and then just shoved it out the door. But yeah, that was I don't know why that they probably should have just left it. The world may have been better having it been left, but
well, I mean, we started off with gaming in a little different way. The early '90s, the mid '90s had a lot of PC games that were action adventure based. Like you had your, either point and click or
Guybrush Threepwood is on
games.
my list of notes, and so is Manny Calavera.
Yeah, and for me, it's going to be Roger Wilco from Space Quest. Like those games I played almost all of them, and those Sierra games, those guys had a lot of character, and there was that
in Sierra. They have point and click, man.
Well, it was type first. Space Quest 1 through 3 was typing, and then 4 Pirates. No, that was Time Rippers, I think. 4 was actually point and click, which is a completely different game. It was a kind of almost a hidden item. I think we consider that game today to be like almost a hidden item game that we see on like tablets and stuff.
Almost.
I always felt that LucasArts, like their protagonists are always a lot more, I don't know, engaging and interesting than Sierra's. Like Sierra's felt like, I don't know, just behind in the personality department. They weren't just cartoonish though. So
Leisure Suit Larry and Space Quest were jokes. Like those were, spoof games.
They were also just.
Guessed, but
I always found the Sierra characters a little more like they stuck closer to character archetypes, where the LucasArts ones kind of broke out, and they were always about some like wacky, weird, different character you didn't see often.
Oh, absolutely.
Sierra was like, here's the medieval hero, here's the
here's the cop, here's the king.
Which, don't get me wrong, a lot of those games are fucking fantastic, but no,
but. Like I think really the big exception for Sierra's protagonist is Gabriel Knight, who's like a fully formed human being and interesting and flawed and disgusting. So
yeah, the thing with Sierra, I think people didn't give the Quest for Glory / Heroes Quest games. Those games were really good. Like that
first those recently. I haven't actually touched them yet though.
Heroes Quest. I actually owned it when it was called Heroes Quest before they had to change it to Quest for Glory, and that first Quest for Glory game is fucking still good. Like it still has enough role-playing elements to go along with the, just along with like the action game. It was a really solid game. Those characters actually, because those were more of like an RPG, like create your own. They didn't have the same voice that maybe a Roger Wilco or King Graham did, but it was definitely an interesting way for them to make a game. It was different than all their other ones.
Does King Graham actually matter after the first 2?
I've
played up to 4, and then
it was Rosella in 4, and 3 and 5 were both King Graham, and I think 6 was.
No, they weren't. No, the 3 was Alexander.
I'm pretty sure 5 was Graham, wasn't it?
Well, I don't know. I'm played up beyond that point, but it's like I was him for the first 2, and then I'm his stupid kids the next couple, and I'm like, oh.
Don't talk shit about King's Quest 4, Perils of Rosella. I love that fucking game.
Oh, it was good.
That game those games were neat because they were all about the old school myths. Like they were, she was kissing, she was getting like the 7 dwarfs, and she was kissing frogs. There was all that kind of thing.
It's definitely more fairy tale than like fantasy, I guess.
Yeah, it is Graham in 5. I thought so. I played that game a bunch too.
Ah.
But yeah, you're right. Those, if you want to play Day of the Tentacle, which is one of the best games ever, is an incredible game. And they have the weird archetypes there of Laverne and Hoagie, and they're strange characters for video games.
Yeah. Well, even Sam and Max are completely bizarre when you think about it. It's like,
yeah, they are.
They're just strange.
But I mean, that was a comic first.
It was, but it's still strange.
It is strange, but I love Hit the Road, and I love the Telltale games too. Those
I
were
haven't played any of
fantastic.
the Telltale ones. Actually, the only Telltale shit I played was Walking Dead, which is, awesome.
Fantastic.
And very, very character driven, actually, so that's actually relevant.
All of those characters were fantastic.
Yes.
We haven't talked about the BioShock games, which had, especially the last one, had some pretty interesting characterization. The first one, we were a little kind of new protagonists.
I thought the characters of the Big Daddies and Little Sisters and how you discovered information about them were very solid characters. I still
Jack himself really wasn't, though.
Jack
no.
wasn't at all.
Actually, I think
the plot surrounding Jack was interesting, and I still found, like, the first time I saw the good ending to BioShock, I teared up a little. I actually thought it was really sad, but I mean that was it wasn't because of Jack, it was because of the Little Sisters and him freeing them and like them growing up and stuff. Like it was a very well written moment, but it's not really a character moment, it's a plot moment.
No. I mean, I might be in the minority on this, but like I thought that Burial at Sea actually made BioShock 1 grander by association.
I still haven't played it. I guess I really need to.
In a lot of ways. Because like, I enjoyed the first BioShock, but I wasn't like head over heels for it the way I was with Infinite. And then sort of Burial at Sea basically kind of closes the circle, and it makes BioShock 1 feel more important and interesting.
Well, that's kind of the thing. In Infinite, you have a main character. Like, he is a real person. He is not just a protagonist. He talks. And that's kind of a thing with a lot of video games. That's why I love Shepard. Like, if you want to... I always play a female Shepard because I love the voice actors.
Me too. I totally agree with you there.
Because she always gets played through in my Paragon run, and then I will play a Renegade run as the male Shepard. And I will, always look to Shepard as just the fucking badass save the galaxy as the protagonist I want to see in a game, because they literally have to do everything. There is no other option. You need to save the entire galaxy because no one else cares, apparently. And that's what I want to see when I'm playing a video game. I want to see the ultimate hero, and the fact that they made that ultimate hero anything you wanted it to be was very interesting. How many times did you punch the reporter? I punched the reporter every single time.
I don't think I ever did.
Oh, every time. The second I saw that option to punch that person in the face, I did. It was great.
Oh, I was like, I really just don't have time for you. I'm just leaving.
I played every side quest, and she started acting bad questions, and she got popped in the face. Sorry.
No, I don't know. Especially in 2 and 3 when they introduced those like quick Renegade and Paragon moments. I did all of them, even if I was playing Renegade or Paragon, just because like they were always awesome.
Well, they also usually gave you a good advantage too. There's definitely a bunch of times when doing those actions made your life a lot easier in those games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, those kind of roleplay moments, like for me, it's like which way I'll go tends to be highly situational. I think I played male Shepherd because I literally tossed a coin because I didn't give a shit, and I kind of played him a little bit of a Jack Bauer archetype, where it's like I have a lot of shit going on and I don't have time to play games with you, so sometimes I'll be mean, but I'm generally working for the greater good. And unfortunately, that means like a lot of like the extra like Paragon and Renegade dialogue options I was locked out of because I ended up somewhat neutral.
Yeah. That was kind of the thing with That was kind of the thing in Knights of the Old Republic, especially the second one. Being a Grey Jedi it was kind of a bad option, even though I liked the idea of the Grey Jedi, especially in the second one. I kind of lost some stuff.
It was dark side all the way in those games, but it was only because I never play an evil character pretty much, and I just wanted to do it for the sake of it just once, and then I felt guilty about it by the end of the game. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, on the subject, before we get too far from Mass Effect, I mean, Mass Effect has some fantastic characters, but I actually wrote it on my list. My favorite one from those games is Garrus. He's the only character who's in your party for all 3 games. And
is he really? I haven't played Mass Effect 3, but like for the first 2, Garrus,
Tally
is. Tally is. I love Tally. Oh man,
I like Tally
love
too.
Both of those two, like to the point where all the new characters in Mass Effect 2, I completely excluded them. Like the entire time, I was like, yeah, you can sit on the ship. Don't need you.
Was Morton?
No,
I
Morton
liked
was
him
in
in
2. He wasn't in 1.
Yeah, he's new.
It's
Yeah.
just
Like,
Garrus and Tally. But though both of those, yeah, both of them are fantastic characters. But I found Garrus's story more interesting, and he was a little more rounded for me,
He's a
especially just like
cricket.
his tragic backstory, and then
he has a face.
well, yeah, when he
Well,
becomes a
he's-
fucking badass as Archangel in 2.
Well, he's Dirty Harry, pretty much, right? Like he's Dirty Harry in those games. He's a renegade cop on the edge that needs to come help you save the galaxy. Like
Yeah.
Garrus doesn't give a shit what you do as long as you start kicking ass. So a lot of people love Garrus. I mean, Garrus and Tally. I mean, there's a lot of great characters in those games. The Matriarch is really good. Like Jack is a great character. Like they have BioWare is going to give you your fill of good characters when you play that game. From Bastila and Garth to Gareth? What the fuck was his name? What was the pilot's name? Ah, fuck.
I had no idea.
Joker.
No,
No.
that was Mass Effect. For
Night
the-
Oh,
Republic.
sorry.
Old Republic was,
Oh, dude, I don't fucking know.
Karth. There we go. It was Karth. Karth was an interesting guy. HK-47 is probably one of the greatest characters in the history of video games. Like, he's fucking hilarious.
He's
And
more or
he
less
is-
Bender, but more homicidal.
Yeah, you see, he's homicidal Bender, which is totally fine by me.
So,
I will take
I
homicidal.
think Jade Empire kind of gets overlooked as far as BioWare is concerned, but you know.
Yeah. How about video game characters that we hate and we'd never want to play as again?
So let's talk about Sonic.
A silent protagonist, except
Oh
as
my god.
No,
Yeah,
he's
that's-
not a
that's-
silent protagonist.
That's the
Jesus
greatest example of
fucking
somebody
Christ.
who should never talk.
yeah.
So Sonic is divided into 2 groups here. We're going to talk about 2 different batches of characters for Sonic. We will talk about Sonic. We'll save him for last because I have a lot to say, but we will start with the
Okay.
easy, like, I mean, there couldn't be an easier target if you, like, I put a dartboard on the floor and said, hey, just poke it to win.
Mhm.
For Sonic's shitty friends.
Alright.
Because,
How many shitty friends are we talking about here?
well, I mean, how many are we up to at this point?
A
We can
lot.
talk about Vector the Crocodile and Charmy Bee.
Not
Are
a
those
lot
from
of
video
those
games
actually.
or from.
Those
Some
are
of
from
them
the
are,
fucking
but they're-
video games. I mean, the only comic character I know is Sally Acorn.
Well,
Um,
Vector and Charmy, I think, come from Knuckles Chaotix, which nobody fucking played anyway.
Yeah, and then they had their own team in Sonic Heroes, which was a fucking shitty game. Because, and this, I mean, I hate the Sonic Adventure games. I know a lot of people have a lot of love for those games. I hate Sonic games in general, but we're talking about characters.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sonic
It
Team
depends.
knew how to take the like mascot character and churn out like the worst fucking shit. Like I'm surprised Arrow the Acrobat didn't show up as one of Sonic's friends or shit like that. Like that's literally what all of Sonic's friends are just failed mascots.
Everyone is Sonic's friend now.
That ride Sonic's dick.
Such a slut. Like, I don't mind Tails. I know a lot of people are like, man, Tails is such a bitch. I don't hate
Tails
him.
is fine.
Tails.
Tails
He's
is a
fine.
non-entity. He's
And
a little
and, like,
boy with tails.
yeah, and I mean Sonic 2 at least. I mean, the latest Sonic game I've played was Sonic Adventure. I haven't played anything past that, and I think the first Sonic Adventure is alright, but like the 2D stuff, that's my shit. And Tails is like completely inoffensive. If you have him turned on, like he doesn't really fuck you over. He mostly just ends up getting himself killed, and it's funny. So yeah, and Knuckles is a dickhead.
Knuckles is well. I mean, Sonic.
But the difference with Knuckles being a dickhead in the 2D era is like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, he's the antagonist for most of the game if you're playing as Sonic. So I mean, like he's
Yeah, well, there's Sonic shitty friends, and then like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy are kind of like the core ones that.
I guess I kind of wish Amy didn't exist, but that's mostly because I don't like Sonic CD at all.
My problem with Sonic as the character is Sonic and his other 3 friends right there are everything that is wrong with marketing in the 90s. Because
Is it?
literally, Sonic is your. We have to make a game for kids, a fun platformer for kids, because Nintendo has Mario. So we're going to, for some reason, make a hedgehog that runs fast because someone liked that design, color him blue, and give him an attitude. Like Sonic has always tried to border that line between cute and for kids, and attitudes for preteens. And
Yeah,
then,
well, I mean, Sonic is very much the product of
and then
marketing.
we have
No one-
Tails, who is the kid-friendly, like, lovable nice guy. We have Knuckles, who's the brooding badass, and we have Amy, who's the token girl. But oh, she has a big hammer because she's not gonna just be weak and powerless. It's just like it's Burger King Kids Club paint by numbers, and it's fucking disgusting. And those games are shit. And
Oh.
but that's besides the
All
point.
of them?
No, those. I hate
You are
Sonic in general.
Are you serious?
What is wrong with you?
I
Even
don't
the
like.
first four.
I don't like the first four. I like
Are
them. I
you
loved them at the
retarded?
time, but in retrospect, they suck.
No.
Are you kidding me? I can see you make an argument for like Sonic 1 because it's simple as shit, but like 3 and
Sonic-
Knuckles.
It's
No way. 3 and
'cause
Knuckles together are one of the
Sonic
greatest
is a
movie
ton of
platformers.
Sonic is a ton of fucking fun until it slows down, and every single game slows down way too much for it to be considered a good game. Like anytime you're
thing
going
is, like,
slow,
you-
it's shit.
You're going slow most of the time though. The bursts of speed are.
I
set-
know, which is
they're
why
fun.
that game isn't fun. Is because going slow sucks.
Oh my god. So
Oh,
like actual
man.
platforming isn't fine, but you'd like to just run left to right. That's cool.
I'm totally. It was fun. The sense of speed was fun. That's what Sonic was. Everything else sucked. It wasn't
But
as good a
it
platformer
wasn't
as the
fun.
Mario games.
It
So
never
why the
has
fuck
been.
would I play them? Exactly. That's why they're not good.
What do you
was
mean?
a bad answer to a fantastic franchise.
You're making me sad, Dave, and you're
I
wrong.
hate
and
Sonic.
I'm going
I
to
hate
drown
Sonic.
you in my
The
Sega.
first
fan.
3
Great.
Sonic the Hedgehog games.
Hi,
better-
Alex. Welcome to the show.
Oh yeah, hi there. How you doing? I
Welcome
was
to the show,
working.
Alex.
I'm
Thanks,
sorry.
thanks, Jared.
That's okay.
Things happen.
And thank you,
I,
Alex.
I couldn't really insert myself any other way. The first 3 Sonic games are better than Mario 2 by a
Yes.
fair margin.
No,
God,
no,
yes.
I love Mario 2. Fuck you.
Are you
Mario
re-
2
no.
is weird and stupid.
That's because it's not a Mario game.
Okay,
It's
But
still
it
weird.
doesn't
It's
mean
a
it's
Mar-
weird and stupid.
it is
Fuck
a
you.
Mario game though.
It's awesome.
They released it as a Mario game even in Japan.
I don't really like Mario 2. I like Japanese Mario 2. Lost Levels is fucking great, but yeah, US 2 was just not my thing.
It's still better than Sonic.
I strongly
You're crazy,
disagree.
man.
So you hate.
Do you even like platformers?
Yeah, I fucking love platformers. I just really don't like Sonic.
There's something wrong with you, is what we're trying to say.
I have been
Like
burned
saying-
by two. I have played a lot of shitty Sonic games, and no more.
Well,
I
then,
love
I wanna-
first-person shooters, but
I
Doom-
want to talk about.
No,
I want
it-
to talk about how much. I want to talk about how much I hate Tingle from Majora's Mask.
I
that
love
fucking-
Tingle.
Oh,
that
No,
fucking
Tingle's
asshole.
awful. Like he's barely a character, but I don't know.
okay,
I played
okay,
Tingle's.
wait. So you're just like, man, the original Genesis Sonics are fucking terrible. Oh, I love Tingle. What's wrong with you?
I played Tingle's rose-colored, hand-picked Rupee Land, or
Oh
whatever
my
the fuck
God.
it was
The
called.
only
Of
time
course
I've
you
actually
have.
seen Tingle was Wind Waker, where he has like a bunch of slaves working a windmill for him or something. It's weird, and I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I like Tingle. He's weird. He makes me feel uncomfortable, and I don't know why he's in Zelda. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Just to annoy people. Majora's Mask. I'm not a big fan of time games in general.
Oh,
but
that's
man,
my favorite game of
Uh,
all time.
Really?
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, people love the Zeldas. But that one, I don't like being told how long I have to do something. I want to take my time and look around and not be like, oh shit, I have another 6 minutes before the sun comes up.
Yeah, agreed.
But Tingle specifically is just fucking annoying, and he can go, fuck. He makes that game significantly worse. He makes Majora's Mask significantly worse.
I would
Worse
say-
than
I'd
Navi
say-
makes.
Yeah, exactly.
Worse
I'd
than
take
Navi
Navi
makes
over
Ocarina of
Tingle.
Time worse. I would take Navi over for him, and she sucks too.
I never
The people
actually
that-
found Navi all that annoying. I mean, maybe because I knew what I was doing. Like, she didn't pop up all that much to be like, "Hey, you're retarded."
Yeah, I definitely had some moments where like, hey, asshole, why don't you figure out what you're doing? And she had to yell at me, and I'm like, fuck you, I'm tired of your shit.
Indeed. So
It's-
So let's talk about good characters again, and how we haven't talked about enough Square Enix characters, like Princess Nadia from Chrono Trigger. We haven't talked about Arieth.
Enix.
Final Fantasy.
Enix, bro. It's Enix.
Sure.
No,
Or
Square
Wraith,
Enix.
yes, that's Wraith, right?
Wow.
Oh, I
the,
see what you're doing
The Final
now.
Fantasy people. Remember
I see
them?
what you're doing now. Yeah. You said you want to talk about good characters. So
I
let's talk about Final Fantasy VI.
Okay, sure. We can definitely talk about Final Fantasy VI. Those Final Fantasy games, the newer ones, they have some fucking weird ass characters. But that Nintendo 64, PS1 era has some good, some high quality characters.
I don't know Final Fantasy VII.
You don't know or you don't like?
I don't like. I'm not gonna say it's
No.
bad or whatever. I just don't enjoy it.
I think it's all right. It's not my
I-
favorite though. I think
I like-
9 and
that
10
was
are
the
a lot
reason why.
than 7.
I think
I don't
6
think
has the
10
best
is better.
characters. I think 6 is the best Final Fantasy game.
I haven't played 6.
6 is a very, very good game.
The old
6
ones,
is a
really.
very, very good game.
The world is destroyed. You lose halfway through the game,
Mm.
You do.
it's fantastic.
So who are you looking for as your favorite playable character from 6?
Oh,
I mean-
Well, I would just say Kefka is the best character for 6, the villain.
Okay, yeah, you say, yeah, he's...
I know who that is.
Kefka's the one that is like the sidekick, and then he destroys the world halfway through the game.
Wait, I
and
need
is the
a
bad guy.
timeout for a second. I need a timeout for a second. Is somehow we're talking about Final Fantasy X, the game where the main character was an imaginatory guy of some lost civilization whose father was the god or sin. No, that is not better than Cloud from Final
What are you
Fantasy
talking?
VII.
Oh,
We're
how is
talking
it
about
not
Final
good?
Fantasy VI.
No.
I'm sorry. I just realized that you said the god character from Final Fantasy X was better.
I don't
than
like
Final Fantasy
Cloud.
VII.
Cloud is nothing. Cloud is blank.
Cloud is just as like his backstory is just as convoluted as Tidus's is. Like
No, it's not. He's not imaginary.
he's not imaginary, but he's also not
He's-
who he thinks he is, and he's brainwashed. And there's a basement, and there's a whole bunch of flashbacks, and then people are falling into live streams. And then Sephiroth's head's in a box, and there's terrible sequels or something.
Tidus has more personality than Cloud. Cloud is kind of
Doesn't
blank.
exist.
Tidus has a different personality than Cloud.
I didn't say it was a good personality. I just felt like Tidus was a more fully formed character than Cloud is.
I think well, I don't know about that. I mean, Cloud goes on a pretty involved arc, and so does Tidus, actually. If people actually bothered to finish 10, they would know that.
No, I know. I don't like the plot of 7. I don't like a lot of the characters.
It's
Yeah,
okay. Like 7 attained kind of a legendary status in my brain when I was younger, just because it was that game that everyone loves and it's super expensive and I'll never play it. And then I got it and I was like, oh, this is all right.
Yeah, well,
see, I
it was
got
a lot of people's first RPG.
that for me was the reason why I bought a PlayStation. Seeing the commercials for Final Fantasy VII and being like, "That's a fucking video game," was fucking crazy. Like at that point, what was that 96, 97? Games didn't look like that. That was a 3-disc fucking crazy time.
I was
And-
like 7 when that game came out.
they-
Yeah.
So I was like 16, 17. And when they in the first couple hours of that game, they blow up half the city and there's fucking terrorist plots. And then Barrett's sitting there Barrett has a lot of stuff going on. Tifa has a lot of stuff going on. There's a pretty good storyline in 7. I mean, obviously it's a little different, because it's an older game, but that does have, I think, at least some good characterizations, and you care about them. There's definitely a lot of people that care about the characters from 7.
I don't think I quite got into it. At least not that far. I mean, I think it's a good game, a good story. It's definitely got a memorable cast. Pretty much every character in that game that's playable. People, it sticks in your mind, which is more than can be said of playable characters from some other RPGs. But I don't know if I ever really got super invested in them. I mean, I especially didn't really buy into the whole Sephiroth worship that a lot of
I didn't think
girls
Sephiroth
had.
was a good. I didn't think Sephiroth was a good villain, to be honest.
No, I mean honestly, Sephiroth had a more impressive fight in Kingdom Hearts than he has in Final Fantasy VII.
We haven't talked about Kingdom Hearts, which
We're
some
not-
people love.
I don't think Kingdom Hearts fits on this podcast because I would not say it has the best or worst game characters. I would say it has game characters.
I think
I don't.
well,
yeah, I don't.
it has characters for everything else. So its original ones are interesting sometimes and sometimes not. So
The plot, as
It's fucking
nonsense as it is interesting in how fucking weird it is, and I think that's why people are drawn to the franchise, not because its characters are fantastic. I mean,
Well, its characters are fantastic because it draws upon the Disney library.
well, but that's not the Kingdom. Those aren't
But
Kingdom
that's what I'm
Hearts
saying. Like
characters.
that's the
Yeah.
reason why it's people are drugged to it. It's like, wow, I get to play as fucking whoever.
well,
Donald Duck's
I get
fucking
the sense
shooting
that
magic balls. This is great.
I don't know.
the
But
overarching
people
storyline
are.
and like the original characters, they do have interesting things. It's just the problem is that like the series spans like 5 different systems, and you have to play all of them if you want to have even the slightest clue what the hell's happening.
5
Yeah.
different
Why did
systems
they-
and how many game systems? Like
There
4
are-
different game systems.
Yeah, something like that.
I know
Card
people,
games and fucking all sorts of shit.
I know people who cried when they formally announced 3, even though we knew it coming. So we are not the appropriate group to discuss the characters of.
Why is it so complicated? It's a game with Disney characters in it. I never
I don't
understood
know why
that.
the fuck is.
Because it has
you wanna-
this whole
you-
fucking
let's,
ridiculous mythology
let's
arching
talk
over
about
everything.
how ridiculous the mythology of Fast and Furious has gotten, and I love that.
Right, but that's
Christ.
that's for stupid people like us.
But yeah,
And that's
but
for people.
except that they make the other stuff for other groups of people. Like it's
Could
the
you
same.
imagine if they made a Kingdom Hearts game that children could actually understand?
They
would
did.
still
It was
really
called Kingdom
stop-
Hearts. Then they
Yeah,
made
I know. And then they threw out their entire. I don't know. I
Have
never understand that.
Play a lot of Japanese RPGs because that's
No!
just like that's.
Do
well,
I
I
look
mean,
like
that's
a
just.
guy that plays a lot of Japanese RPGs?
Yes.
you do. You look like a fucking
Well, I'm so-
stereotypical person.
I
That would
need to
play
fix
every
that
single
at
one.
some point.
Well, I don't know
I
what to tell
feel
you,
like
brother.
a big tattoo that says "I do not like Japanese RPGs."
You know what Japanese RPG
I
series
I
has
get
fantastic
so far-
characters?
Eh? What?
Persona. Let's talk about
Oh,
Persona.
God, no! Please no.
I watched
Why?
that game.
Because
I love
I've seen that game being played, and the soundtrack annoyed me to the point where I never want to even hear
What?
about Persona ever
Oh,
again.
it's so good.
Right
the
now,
whole-
because when I
that's the
hear
whole
the
point of
same
that game.
stupid J-pop song over and over again, every time someone goes into battle, I'm literally looking for something to hang myself with.
Does anyone care about the characters in Borderlands? I know I personally do not, but a lot of people
No.
love Borderlands.
I only know gas mask pointing at my head.
I don't know
I-
why they made
I
the
like-
characters in 2. I liked them in 1 when they were just all dudes.
I like the characters of Borderlands. I like Scooter and
No!
Scooter
It's
the
not
robot?
Scooter. He's the worst!
no, not the Muppet. I do love Scooter the Muppet
No,
as well, but Scooter's
Scooter the
catch-a-rider.
mechanic that wants to rape his cousin or something.
It's dumb. They're really dumb characters. They're not.
Yeah.
They're fun. They're well written comedic characters, and I
In
like
2,
them.
they're dumb in a bad way.
No, I
Like
like
him
to.
and Tiny Tina.
I like Tiny Tina.
I know you do. I wrote an entire article about how Tiny Tina is the worst.
I know. I like Dr. Zed,
Well, that's fine, because he's from 1.
and I like the
can't ruin
zombie.
that.
I like Dr. Ned. His totally not Dr. Zed. It's his brother Ned, with a big face mustache.
From 1 to 2, they took a turn, and they decided to use internet humor, and it all went wrong.
I still like to.
I like 2
just-
a lot, but not the
They
story.
knew they had that property got so much attention that they really wanted to be. How can we get people on the internet to talk about this game? more?
Yeah,
And they
I
certainly
like Handsome Jack.
they swung in the wrong direction. Like, I don't even... Like, Handsome Jack is so far down on the list of annoying things that I don't even care anymore. Although the stupid horse is pretty dumb. In a bad way.
The stupid horse is dumb. Good to know.
No, the stupid horse named Butt Stallion. That's
Oh,
a plot
Stallion.
point over several levels.
Forgot about that.
I
I
like
like-
his
I
giant
like-
robot butler you fight that was like a total fake out. I think that's great. There's still good stuff in there. But then
So good
Claptrap
character.
does dubstep.
Oh, fucking Claptrap. Oh, fuck you.
Yeah. I don't even mind Claptrap. I just don't
Yeah,
like what they did
he's
with
you
him.
know, yeah.
I
Yeah.
like the characters of Borderlands. I think that series is dumb in a fun way.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
well,
probably
it's
still
good.
play it.
Enjoyment of stupid
How-
things.
We don't need to talk about Mario, right? Like he's just.
No.
You want to talk about
What do
bad
you mean? There's
I
so
think-
many great
about-
Mario characters.
or bad characters?
Well,
That's what I'm saying. We don't need to talk
Luigi.
about Mario itself.
Oh,
The actual
God.
interesting characters, the actual interesting Mario character is Bowser. Like when
Really?
they,
Bronze
yeah,
Peach.
when you, well, think about all he wants to do is like have Peach for no reason, but there was a good thing on Cracks After Hours, and they talk about how every game he's able to build up a brand new like 25 castles, and then kidnap this one woman, and then magically they all get destroyed, and then he does it all again. Like he is the most motivated giant lizard creature.
Aren't
in
they
the
all in
sh-
different kingdoms though?
I don't know. The only
No,
real
not
character in the Mario games is Bowser Jr. from Super Mario Sunshine, and he's only an interesting character in the sense that you want to know what the fuck is going on there.
Really? What about Rosalina? I mean, she's pretty neat and has an actual backstory, and it makes me sad, and I cry when I read her storybook.
Oh yeah, I guess Rosalina's fine. She's okay. Whatever.
But I'm saying the
I
main
like-
characters
I wanted, but okay.
not interesting.
I
don't
like
give a
Charge
fuck
and
about
Chip.
Yoshi.
That's a non-existent series for
He wears
characters.
football armor, and I don't know why. I don't know if is there football in the Mushroom Kingdom?
I
Or
guess
you
so,
just
or
find
else
some
they're
stuff in a
charging
pipe.
back then,
I
no.
don't know. Let's
doesn't
talk
throw
about Lara
football.
Croft.
Lara Croft Tomb Raider.
You mean Lara Croft?
Laura, actually.
Whatever.
Kate.
Two Guns Make Big Tits. It was what she was the first 4 games.
For all of the games, basically, besides the reboot.
Yeah.
I've only ever played the reboot.
I've never
The
been a
reboot's
big fan
fantastic.
of the reboot.
They took a mediocre character who was made just on sex appeal, and they made her an interesting character. The new Lara Croft is fantastic.
Yep, because they stole right back from Uncharted the way Uncharted had stole from them, and it worked out beautifully.
Yeah.
Uncharted really stole from The Mummy. Like, that was just The Mummy.
I don't care what they stole from Uncharted.
Okay.
was good.
It was a fun game.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
saying
I'm
it's
sorry.
bad.
No. We need to pump the brakes here. The Mummy stole from Indiana Jones, which stole from
Yes.
the Pulp Fiction of the 30s. But
Well,
Uncharted
but
did
I'm
not
saying
steal from the
Uncharted
Mummy.
In
Uncharted,
1932, right?
Uncharted stole from Indiana Jones, which the Mummy
I feel
also
like-
stole from. I don't.
I feel like, well, I'm saying the closer analog is, to me, the Uncharted games follow more closely what the Mummy games were than the Indiana Jones games were. That's all.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't see
Okay,
that
just
at
me.
all. Just because like the way that the story unfolds is totally Indiana Jones.
yeah,
With the investigation and stuff. Like the Mummy is, especially the first one was more like looming. Like the Mummy, the stuff in the Mummy was happening,
Yeah,
was
I guess
about
it was
the
happening
antagonist,
regardless.
whereas the
Yeah.
Uncharted was about the mystery. It was more of an Indiana Jones like follow the mystery to the treasure.
I'm
Yeah.
sure by the original Mummy, you're all referring to Boris Karloff, right?
No, we're talking about the excellent and pretty good first 2 Mummy movies. I still haven't seen the third one. I hear it's a pile of shit.
Hey, I like Scorpion King. I'm all down with
I
the
like.
Rock.
Okay, I forgot about. Yeah, the Scorpion King was fucking fantastic. It took me forever to watch that because I thought the Scorpion King bits in The Mummy 2 were the worst part of that movie.
It was the worst part of
The
those movies.
Scorpion King was fantastic, but that is
Yep.
that is not a video. Oh, I guess it was a video game, but I don't care. The new Lara Croft is great. Let's talk about a terrible character, Aiden Pierce.
Who?
I don't even know who that is.
Is that the
Watchy
Watch Dogs
McWatch
guy?
Dogs? Yeah, Watchy
Oh,
McWatch
okay.
Dogs.
Oh.
He is the non-existent character. I mean, he is the shining beacon to what is wrong with video game. What can be wrong with video game characters? Designed by committee, gruff voice, no
But he's got a
personality.
hoodie.
He's got a hoodie. I know he's got a
And
hoodie.
you could buy different colored hoodies, but always the same hoodie, and they all come with bandanas.
What was the name of the guy from Prototype, the first one?
Alex Mercer.
Prototype,
Yes.
the guy.
Don't tell me why I know that. Right, like
I really like that. I loved that game, and I thought that was such a weird thing. He's just murdering half the population of the city, but is he a bad guy? I guess. Is he a good guy? Well, kind of.
Did you play the second one?
I have not finished. I've not played. It's another guy, right? It's a different guy.
Yeah,
in the
it's
story.
another guy, and Alex is still in it though.
He is. I really liked Alex Mercer. I also like Cole McGrath. Like the whole we're gonna
I
make
like Cole.
open worlds. Yeah, I like them both.
I like Cole.
I thought that Alex was kind of had. Alex was a cooler. I thought was a cooler character. I like Cole
Yeah,
in the
totally.
second game. That second game I thought was really good.
I only ever played the first Infamous, and to be honest, I really didn't like it all that
Well,
much.
I will
I
say
thought Prototype was more fun.
I
Because,
don't
like,
think Cole or Alex are good characters. I think their stories are fascinating, but I think they're both pretty non-existent characters. They're just gruff voices for things to happen to.
The dude from Prototype 2 is like more of a character. Because he's like this big black guy who was a cop, and he has a daughter, and in one cutscene, he doesn't know how to use
Does someone
a
kidnap
computer,
his daughter?
So just
For chance?
Oh, yeah, of course. It's
Oh,
video-
excellent. Good.
Yeah. You need motivation for these things.
Is he too old for this shit? Is that the other question?
This is the kind of thing that he would say, yes.
Does he have rubbers everywhere?
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
That's
He hates computers.
the condom
That
joke
is also
from Lethal
his
Weapon
defining
2.
trait. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, I'm glad that I just wrecked your train of thought. Just drove
He
it
hates
right off.
computers. He hates computers.
He does
Excellent.
hate computers.
But
He
now
does.
he's trapped inside one.
Great.
What? What?
A video
I gotta
game
say-
console. Like a
I
little
gotta say, if we were talking about comedic characters, the characters from Saints Row always made me laugh.
The boss is a fantastic character.
Oh
the
god.
boss-
No.
Just
No.
just in the second game, the beginning of the second game, where like you somehow break out of jail, like you're in the courthouse, you've murdered like 1 million people, they steal you away. It's just hilarious. Like that is just funny. Fucking.
Have you played 3?
I have not played 3 yet. I haven't.
When in the opening sequence where you
Don't you become the president or something?
No, that's 4.
No, that's 4.
Oh, pardon me.
In 3, you crash a plane mid-flight and you jump out, and then you literally you shoot out the cockpit glass and like fly through the plane, killing people as you're like diving
Awesome.
through the corridor.
I need to play that shit. That's amazing.
Yeah, no, it is.
Fuck yeah.
That game
Oh my
literally
God.
opens with you robbing a bank with your crew all wearing Johnny Gat giant masks, because who wouldn't want to be Johnny
And-
Gat, including
And also,
Johnny.
don't forget an actor that is studying for the role of a saint.
in the
who's
in the
commenting
Saints
on
Row
the action.
in Pimps in Space.
Yes, the Saints Row film.
I gotta say, how
Hey.
great! Those are good fucking characters. They made that game. Those games are so much better
Yeah.
than Grand Theft Auto because they're fucking fun. I did not give one shit about Eastern European guy in the.
I
four-
did.
Kate,
Nigga, are you high?
Kate
At least
loves.
4
Kate loves
told
Nico.
a proper good story, and
No, it
and
did not.
Yes, it did.
No, it
Fort
did not.
took a proper to
Saints
good
Row-
story, except I needed
Bro,
to be
is
nice about people.
absolute fucking shit. It's so puerile. It tries so
Shut up,
hard to be
Kate.
hilarious, and
Shut
it's
up, Kate, it's
absolutely
funny.
not. And it's absolutely fucking gay, and I hate
It
it.
doesn't
I
try to
didn't
be
like-
hilarious because it
Yes,
is.
it does.
Can
It's
you-
so
can we
so
not
obvious. It just wants so hard for you to believe that it's funny, and it's not.
Can we talk
I
about
didn't
a
like-
good set of characters in Michael Trevor and
Oh god,
Franklin in GTA 5? What?
I don't like them either.
Uh,
and
so
actually,
pleasing.
I kind of have to go.
Wait, before you leave, can we at least
okay.
talk about Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us?
If we're quick about it, yes, I love them both. I
That
will, I
is-
will take them both to bed.
They're probably the best video game characters so far, I think. Either them
Them or what's his face in
Walker.
Clementine.
Well, I was
I
going
have
to say Walker from Spec Ops: The Line.
But that's an odd choice.
That game is only good because of its story. Like, there's a mediocre shooter with a brilliant story.
Well,
I
that's interesting. But
I haven't
yeah.
been able to play Last of Us. Like I want to, and I'm like, I'm going to be a wreck if I play that game. So I don't know when I'm going to. I will at some point. But having a daughter and having to play that game, I'm just going to be sad the whole
Oh
time.
man,
I don't
have you
wanna
played
be
The
sad.
Walking Dead yet?
I did play The Walking Dead, and I didn't like it because of that, and 2 because of zombies.
Well, there you go. Those 3 games: The
There are
Walking Dead,
zombies
The
in
Last
Left
of
4 Dead.
Us. Yeah, The Walking
Or
Dead, The
no,
Last of Us, and Spec
of
Ops: The
Us.
Line. I would say
Yeah.
the best 3.
Aren't there zombies
sets
in
of
that game?
characters.
In Last of Us?
They're clicker. They're basically they're plant
Yeah.
fungus people, but yeah.
Basically.
All right. Well,
The
I'm leaving
disease.
then. So
All right. But I
Goodbye.
having a
Kate.
podcast
Bye,
without
Kate.
me. So bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Cade.
And now,
But
welcome to the Saints Row podcast.
Yeah, so let's talk about
Here
Saints Row.
today.
No, let's actually talk about, before we get off of the fact that someone said that the characters in GTA 4 were good. The fact that I had to play around with their fucking social lives and be friends with their friends, with their myriad of psychopaths.
Let's
I
go
No,
play
fucking
see,
tennis.
I liked that. I just didn't like any of the characters in GTA. I just didn't like that.
I have my own social life. I don't need to like fucking take phone calls from
Well,
psychopaths.
Let's go watch fakey stand-up comedy down at the theater. That's fun. in a video game.
I really like that's an option. If you guys don't like it, that's fine. But you can't.
Well, it would be fine in like an MMO, but it like
No, that
people
would
go to
work
Grand
in an
Theft Auto
MMO.
to go drive a car off a ramp and shoot things.
That's what Saints Row's for now.
Right?
Oh,
they
Grand
yeah.
Theft
should
Auto
do it
is for
Saints Row.
Rockstar
Yeah.
to tell a story that they want to tell. That's what Grand Theft Auto has evolved
I thought
into.
that was
I
what
like.
all their other good games are like.
No, I
What's
really
Max
liked.
Payne?
I liked the
Max,
the,
yeah,
the
let's talk
fact
about Max
that
Payne now.
what
Let's talk about Max Payne. Does anyone like Max Payne?
I like Max Payne.
Sure.
Those games are great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty generic noir detective story, but I liked the. I wouldn't call Max Payne or any of his associates good characters, but they told a good story that was interesting to follow, and that they weren't bad characters. So it worked for what it was.
What was the I have a question. What was the remember Metal Gear Solid 2? Which was the one that didn't have Solid Snake and had Raiden?
2.
Fuck Raiden.
Raiden turns into a great character.
I didn't like. Well,
They just have to be developed by a different company. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that
character.
game number 2.
No, he was fine in 4. He was great in 4. What are you talking about, Alex?
Well, I'm talking
I
about the
don't know.
game that he was in, like the game that was his game. I'm not
Oh, that
saying
was Revengeance. Yeah, that was the Platinum Games developed Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
That's the only one I've ever played. So.
Oh, well then. You guys should play Spec Ops: The Line if you want good game characters.
No.
Why?
Was this,
I like being happy.
Spec Ops is about a military squad going into Dubai after it's been taken over by a coup in the middle
Yeah,
of
I know what it's about.
a sandstorm.
How about we talk about how much, even though they're probably not great characters, I do enjoy the Gears of War guys because they are hilarious and just.
No, whoa.
Some of those
No,
are.
whoa. Cole and Baird are awesome. Everyone
fuck yeah,
else
they
is
are.
disposable. Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You
Yeah.
can get rid of all the other characters. Cole and
Hey,
Baird make
hey,
those
hey,
games.
hey. You didn't feel pathos when Marcus Phoenix took off his do-rag?
No, I never finished 3 because I couldn't be bothered.
You didn't feel for him as his mother demon thing was flying around and
I didn't
Not
finish
telling
3.
you the
I
end of the
couldn't be
story.
bothered.
I really felt for him when he used to chainsaw those guys in half. That's what I
So
remember.
did I.
I'm
So
pretty
did
sure.
I.
He had a
Oh,
chainsaw
pretty
gun
good.
and he
My-
just chopped
my-
people in half.
My shining character moment from the Gears of War franchise is playing multiplayer, whereas Marcus Phoenix, I chainsawed an entire team in a row and got kicked out of the game for quote-unquote cheating.
I hated those people. Well, because was that in the first one?
It was the first one. Like, I literally
when
snuck
you would
up
just get
behind
into-
everyone and chainsawed them.
Well, it would
was-
get into that fake scene where like you locked into the player, and then it's just like, ugh. Now I have to wait for you to disembowel me with your chainsaw gun. I can understand why they did that. I don't know if I wouldn't have done it personally, but
But that is besides the point.
I also want to talk about the Red Tornado, which is Zangief, and how much I love Zangief because I'm good with Zangief. And
I would not call any of the characters in Street Fighter good characters. I would call
Nope.
them fun,
I wouldn't.
iconic characters. They
Yeah,
are, they
no,
are the
they're
definition
not
of
good
iconic.
characters.
No.
Yeah, they're not good characters, but man, do I love me some Zangief. That's all.
Zangief. Zangief thinks you are a bad guy, but not a
Oh,
bad
from Wreck-It
guy.
Ralph.
Yeah, from Wreck-It
You're
Ralph.
a bad guy.
But not
But
a.
I'm not a bad guy. Huh?
You are
I
a
don't
bad
understand.
guy, but that does not make you a bad guy.
Well, by the way, super good advice. Like, if you actually think about it, he had really good advice for Wreck-It Ralph in that movie.
Yes, he
He's
did.
like, look, you're a bad guy, but that doesn't mean you're a bad person. You're just this thing. That's what you do. That's okay. You are who you are. Ah, Zangief. Anyone else? Who else? Who are we missing here?
I don't know. I mean, we've touched. I know we've of course missed like everything, but I feel like we've highlighted some really good.
If I don't, oh wait, before we get yelled at, Samus is great. We all love Samus.
Well, Samus isn't the only character. The only game where Samus really has a character besides Fusion, which is amazing, is Other M, which I didn't play. So
No, she has a character. I mean, it's not. There's no dialogue or anything, but like the whole thing where she's like a mother to the little Metroid and all that. That's like a character thing.
oh yeah, I guess that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
she's-
okay, it
that's
happens in a
good.
couple of the smaller 2D ones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a good character overall.
But she's not much of a character. There's not a whole lot
No.
there. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's.
And then also there's
game.
Bastila. I love Bastila. And
I don't know who that is.
Bastila's from Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah, Bastila Shan. Okay, no, I know who you're talking about.
How about you, Alex? Anyone you have? What else you have? You kind of
don't
came in
know.
late, so.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what you guys covered already.
Sonic
But,
sucks.
Yeah. I don't understand.
How much I love Commander Shepard and the rest of the crew of the Normandy.
Oh yeah, that's definitely
Garrus
good.
is the best.
I would probably throw in like not Master Chief from Halo.
We talked about Master. Well, that was the thing. Is I
okay.
said Master Chief is not a good character, but he's an incredibly iconic suit of armor.
Right. But I think like most any other dude from that game, like that has like significant dialogue is probably good. Like I would
You
put
mean
Guilty Spark
Johnson
pretty high up on my list as a
Cortana.
great character. Yeah, Cortana.
and
Although
then
you know,
Johnson? That's it.
Guilty Spark, man.
That's okay. That's literally the
Awesome.
the three talking characters.
No.
Don't the aliens
No,
talk
man.
in the game?
Yeah, but I don't. Who cares?
The Prophet of Truth from Halo
cares?
2.
Who cares?
And,
You punch him in the face and then he dies. Who cares?
No, that's not. No, there's this whole thing. If you watch the story,
I
where
know.
he's like- he does-
I know the Halo story. I read the
Okay.
books, Alex. It's not very good.
it is very good. You're crazy. It doesn't go very good places now that Bungie's not writing it anymore, but it was pretty good.
It was interesting. It was an interesting story. It was not. None of the characters were anything worth.
What about Tartarus? He had a big hammer.
Again, not a good character. Just an angry guy, an angry
Yeah, it was-
foil. Like that's all he was. That's
He had,
all
like-
the characters
He had
in
like
Halo
a beard
are.
that was braided
Yeah,
because he was
archetype.
a giant monkey.
Speaking, you want to know a really good character? Monkey and Trip from Enslaved, Odyssey to the West. Those are fantastic characters.
Yeah, I gotta get on that at some point. I have it on Steam now.
Anything Ninja Theory makes is awesome. Like,
yeah,
I haven't finished it yet, but I really, even though most people hate them, I really like the new Devil May Cry characters. They feel like real characters and not just archetypal Japanese badasses.
all the enemies in that game are so great. Like the things they say to you as you're beating on them is just amazing.
No, it's
All the
fantastic.
bosses.
That game is 100% amazing, and I can't believe
Yeah.
it took me this long to play it. But it runs so good on PC.
It does. It does. I very recently played through it all. It's very good.
Also, all of the characters that I've seen so far in Deadly Premonition are awesome.
You haven't even scratched the surface, though. All
I'm
those
Special
characters
Agent Francis York Morgan. You can
Yeah.
call me York. Everyone calls me York.
Yeah, we'll get into those. That will be a
I know.
continuing thing, and I will try to order a pizza next time.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's about it. So,
Okay.
Jared, where can the internet find you?
Internet can find me at Mel Jared on the internets, or if you like Twitter. That's where I sometimes write things, and also on the site Geekenstein. My last article was the thing about Cards Against Humanity. It's fantastic. You should read it. And there's other things that happened since then.
Now,
So
you're not allowed to say that it's fantastic. It is fantastic. You should read it, but you can't say that.
Hey man,
the best part about actually, I don't consider myself a writer because I don't hate what I write. If I was a real writer, I'd hate everything I do.
That
but
is
I don't
very
consider
true.
myself a real writer, so I can say that my stuff rocks.
Okay, that works then. You found the loophole. Alex?
I'm at Needler Fan Pudge, which is why I was just talking about Halo, and I'm on. I put up a lot of stuff on the Geekenstein, and I'm doing some videos on the side. Not as much anymore, because I have this horrible support job that I have to do, but it's okay, because I'm working at home. So, anyway,
There you go.
You can find me at Xanthus on Twitter, and of course follow at GeekensteinLive for all the Geekenstein stuff. Check out our Facebook page. Check the site. We've got lots of good content going up this week.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find Kate at I don't know if she you can find her on Twitter at Random Assault. I think she uses that more than she uses her personal one anyway. And of course I'm actually editing her 24 Live Another Day finale right now, so that'll be up by the time you hear this. And I don't know,
I'm working on Space Farmers at some point this week. I will get that done.
And I'm working on Lifeless Planet as well. That'll be out this week. But then next week, I think our topic for the podcast will be we're going to talk about cult classics. Again, a topic where everyone can have many different opinions. Since, I mean, there's not much to say what is or isn't a cult classic, but we can definitely say if they're good or not. Here's a spoiler. I fucking hate Edward Scissorhands. Yeah, look forward to that next week.
Okay. I can
Great, lots of Clerks talk, guys. All Clerks, all day.
I'm totally down for that. Clerks. All right.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Thank you for listening, and we will be back next week. Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Bye.